Title: The Last Leaf. The story opens with a picturesque view of a quaint, cobblestone-lined neighborhood in New York City during the early days of winter. The camera pans to a small, rustic apartment building, showcasing its charming architecture and unique character. We meet our protagonist, John, a struggling young artist, as he stands before his easel in his dimly lit apartment. He's lost his creative spark and has been facing financial difficulties. He gazes at his half-finished painting of a beautiful leaf. Cut to John's neighbor, a young woman named Mary, who is bedridden with a severe illness. Mary, a former dancer, now finds solace in her dreams of dancing again. The neighborhood begins to change as winter arrives. The camera captures the first snowflakes falling and the building's courtyard covered in snow. The mood becomes colder and more challenging for John, who struggles to keep himself and Mary warm. John's motivation to finish his painting wanes as the cold takes its toll on both him and Mary. One day, as the bitter cold intensifies, Mary notices that there's a single vibrant leaf hanging from a vine on the building's wall, just outside her window. The leaf stands out against the gray and lifeless winter backdrop. As days go by, the leaf remains, defying the harsh weather, and becomes a symbol of hope for Mary. She believes that when the last leaf falls, she will also lose her will to live. John, inspired by Mary's hope, becomes determined to finish his painting. He adds the last leaf to his artwork, capturing its vibrant colors and tenacity. With Mary's health deteriorating rapidly, John races against time to finish his painting. He becomes increasingly obsessed with capturing the leaf's beauty, which he hopes will give Mary the strength to keep fighting. Meanwhile, the cold weather continues to threaten the last leaf, which still clings to the vine outside Mary's window. As Mary's condition worsens, John rushes to complete his painting. He presents it to Mary, who is overcome with emotion when she sees the vibrant leaf in his artwork. Her hope is restored. Simultaneously, the last leaf outside her window finally succumbs to the winter and falls to the ground. Mary smiles at John, believing that the leaf's resilience has given her the strength to recover. Days pass, and Mary's health slowly begins to improve. The courtyard outside her window begins to fill with people, each marveling at the leafless vine, the painting, and Mary's determination. They too draw strength from the story of the last leaf. Mary, now healthier, joining the neighborhood in a dance performance, symbolizing her recovery and the power of hope and art. The blue sky as Mary and the neighborhood residents dance in celebration of life, resilience, and the enduring beauty of the last leaf. Accompanied by a heartwarming and emotionally resonant musical score, leaving the audience with a sense of hope and inspiration. The Last Leaf is a short story by O. Henry that takes place in Greenwich Village, New York City, sometime in the early 20th century. The story centers on two young women artists, Sue and Johnsy, who share a studio at the top of a rundown apartment building. When winter comes, Johnsy becomes grievously ill with a case of pneumonia. The doctor who visits them predicts that Johnsy won't have much chance of survival if she doesn't find the will to live. An increasingly fatalistic Johnsy becomes obsessed with the leaves falling from a vine outside her window. After the last leaf falls, she tells Sue she will die. Sue works on an illustration for a magazine, which she plans to sell to buy more food for Johnsy, and tries unsuccessfully to convince Johnsy that she has something to live for. Sue goes to visit their downstairs neighbor, Behrman, an old, unsuccessful artist who, after decades of failure, still hopes to paint his masterpiece. When he hears about Johnsy's illness and her obsession with the leaves outside her window, he is initially contemptuous of the idea that leaves could have anything to do with Johnsy's health. Ultimately, however, Behrman stays out all night in a violent storm to paint a realistic-looking leaf onto the wall outside Sue and Johnsy's window. Seeing that the last leaf, which is in fact Behrman's painting, has seemingly survived the storm 2 nights in a row, Johnsy takes hope and begins to recover. However, Behrman catches pneumonia from exposure to the rain and cold and dies a few days later. When Sue tells Johnsy this, she remarks, "The moral of the story, The Last Leaf, by O. Henry, is that hope and friendship can help people overcome even the most difficult challenges in life. The story teaches us that we should never lose hope in life quickly, and that true friends will always be there to support us in our times of need. Behrman's sacrifice for Johnsy's sake is a testament to the power of true friendship and the lengths to which people will go to help those they care about." The story also highlights the importance of perseverance and determination in achieving one's goals, as Behrman finally paints his masterpiece just before he dies. 1. That Behrman had finally painted his masterpiece.